Egypt before the Pharaohs, but not according to historical accounts and archaeologists. Ra departed to the heavens, and Osiris became Pharaoh of Egypt with Isis, and they built Thebes. This is according to the ancient Greek Plutarch. Ra departed to the heavens, obviously. Osiris became Pharaoh of Egypt with Isis, and they built Thebes. Have you ever thought about pre-Pharaonic Egypt and its rulers? But not according to scholars. Then we'll see what Egypt was like before the Pharaohs, using as a basis ancient texts written many, many years ago, myths and traditions that are not understood as history, personal conclusions, and what the writer says here, my own thoughts, all connected together in a single story. In ancient Egyptian times, before the first, quote, mortal, unquote, pharaoh, Menes-Narmer, ruled the lands of Egypt, there were other kings and or deities in particular. Quote, those who came from above, end quote, who ruled over this land. This time, pre-Pharaonic Egypt remains a great mystery to most Egyptologists because they cannot accept what is written in the ancient texts for the reason that it goes directly against the beliefs of most historians, archaeologists, and Egyptologists. Now we know that according to the Emerald Tablets, and I'll leave a link below for you for the playlist I made, written by Thoth the Atlantean, or what we know as Hermes Trismegistus, he claims that he built the Giza pyramids, and that he also had a spaceship and is buried under one of the sphinxes in Giza. So he relates to a second sphinx, not just the one that we know of. Now going back to this, the time before 3000 BC, the date when the first pharaoh appeared in Egypt, is a great mystery. It's no secret that the ancient Egyptians considered their culture to be the heritage of the gods, who were not local, nor did they come from any other part of the earth, but came from elsewhere, from space. This is what exactly the Atlantean Hermes Trismegistus thought claims, that they were from space. So from space, pre-Pharaonic Egypt seems to support this theory. One of the most important ancient texts that tells us more about history is the Turin Papyrus, which lists the pharaohs who ruled ancient Egypt. Not only does it include all the official historical pharaohs of ancient Egypt, it also mentions deities or sky gods who came from above, who landed in Egypt before the first mortal pharaoh of Egypt, with a lineage that spans over 13,000 years. Scholars consider this ancient text to be pure myth, and most of its details have been overlooked and omitted from history books. They seem to have no ancestors or development periods. They seem to have appeared overnight. This is what English Egyptologist Toby Wilkinson states. There are some researchers who believe that by calculating the information obtained from the Turin Papyrus, it refers to the kingdom of Ptah, Ptah, the kingdom of Ptah, who is the creator of and first ruler of ancient Egypt, dating back 39,000 years. Egyptology and historiography teaches us that the pre-dynastic era is considered a myth without much historical value. However, the Palermi Stele, the column of Palermo, is another incredible ancient text that mentions the pre-dynastic rulers of ancient Egypt, which also mentions the Egyptian god Horus, who has a natural ruler of ancient Egypt he was a natural ruler of ancient Egypt thousands of years before. Another Egyptian god, Thoth, Hermes Trismegistus, is said to have ruled the lands of Egypt from 8,670 to 7,100 BC. That's 1,570 years. It's interesting that the Egyptian high priest MANETHO, who had access to unlimited ancient texts from the ancient library of Alexandria, and who wrote for Pharaoh the history of ancient Egypt in 30 volumes, makes reference to the divine beings who ruled in pre-Pharaonic Egypt. Now we know the city of Alexandria was established by Alexander the Great, who lived about 330 BC. Now if you look at today's Egyptologists, you will find that they too make use of Manetho's dating as a very reliable tool in their study, but for some reason the same Egyptologists have decided to avoid anything relating to prehistoric dynasties, choosing the details carefully, adopting what suits them, and rejecting anything that does not fit their view. We can trace the leaders of Egypt of the very distant past to a series of ancient key lists. The royal lists of Abydos, for example, found on the wall of the temple of Seti I, offers a chronological order of 76 rulers. And we know that Abydos is where we have the hieroglyphs of those helicopters and jet airplanes and tanks and whatever. So the royal list of Abydos, for example, found on the temple of Seti, offers a chronological order of 76 rulers. In addition, the royal list of Karnak, which is in the Louvre Museum in Paris, has 61 rulers from Menet to Thutmose III, and these two lists give us the tradition of Upper Egypt. The royal list of Saqqara lists 47 kings before and among others Ramesses II. In its original state, the papyrus must have been a beautiful specimen, as the script is exceptionally fine. It contains the names of kings over 300, with the duration of each reign in years, months, and days. The final version of the papyrus has not yet been made, as further study is expected to yield more results. The papyrus begins, like MANETHO's, with the dynasties of the gods, small g, followed by mortal kings. The arrangement on the papyrus is very similar to that of MANETHO's epitome. MANETHO's provides us with many interesting details about the so-called divine, quote-unquote, leaders of ancient Egypt and their dynasties, which he divides into three different categories: the gods, with a small g, the heroes, and the mothers. But many other writers, Eusebius, the ancient Greek, the bishop of Caesarea in Palestine, and Singellus, speak of a series of gods who reigned on earth for a total of 36,600 years. After this era come the mortal pharaohs of ancient Egypt. So who were those who came from on high, the heavens that is, from the heavens and the skies, and ruled Egypt more than 36,000 years ago, and some of them for over 1,500 years? And this I've translated for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.